Today's video, I put together a Wood River pencil. It's called a Woodworkers artist pencil. The blank needed is 5/8 by 5/8 by 3.5, and the bit needed to drill the hole is 15/32. And the lead I have in it is a 4B soft lead. But I found this Bloodwood blank or piece of wood, and it was two-toned, and it looked like it would turn out also two-toned by the time I turned it. It looked like the wood was all the way through the blank, and it's a fairly simple kit to put together. As you can see, the one bushing, the whole transmission and the nib is put together. The pencil is inside of it, and it just goes right in, and then the top presses in on the bushing also. So again, if you can see the end, it looked like it would turn out two-tone very nicely, and it did. I was very pleased with it. Let's start off and cut the end, or cut the blank to size, and we'll get it marked and get it over to the bandsaw to be cut. And we took it over to the saw, sped this up a little bit. The wood was very easy to cut. I really like this piece of wood. Again, I'd like to find another piece of this two-tone on the Bloodwood. It was really interesting wood. So now we bring it over, get the ends of it marked so we can drill the tube into the blank. And as usual, it's not perfectly square. Use a brad drill bit, and nice, easy, smooth into the wood, clearing it out. As you can see, the wood is not real chippy. Came out, the drilling was very easy to do. Just take your time, and it was a little bit larger drill bit than normal, being 15/32, but it took care of it. Good shape. So the next thing we need to do is take it over after we got it drilled there and get it glued up. Make sure it fits, make sure good shape. And as usual, I take the scale and I'll put equal measures. Again, I just like to give myself the most success that I can, and I usually put somewhere between 7 and 9 grams. This one's 8, and then the other one, the hardener, is always the last one to put on. You just give yourself a few more seconds. It's a 5-minute epoxy. It's Texas, it's humid, it's hot, and so it sets up faster than 5 minutes. And 16 on the scale. And then the popsicle stick, the official stir. Makes it easy to get the bottom and the corners and the sides. You can scrape the sides easily. Mixes up nicely. Just make sure you got it mixed up really good. And then put the tube on, and then goop the heck up out of the tube. You're better off wiping off excess than trying to add some. So I goop it up quite a bit, especially on the ends. And you can see it comes out. Make sure you get it kind of centered up there. And then use some denatured alcohol to take it off, and then sit and wait. The epoxy will harden up, and it'll change color to a dark yellow, and it's too hot to handle. So make sure you at least wait until the cup, the glue in the cup, is cooled down to where you can touch it with no problem. That way the tube will be the same way. Usually I'll wait overnight certainly a few hours afterwards. Just want to make sure that it's filled in all the gaps and everything's done. So you can kind of see by the stick, is it correct or not? And then a quick sand. There wasn't much on the ends. And then we sped the process up and start turning this. Put it on the mandrel, get the tailstock set up. I use a carbide tip on this one, and this wood was about as easy to work with as you possibly could get, I think. I probably should have used a spindle gouge. I'm not really sure why I chose the carbide tip, but it ran down very quickly, very easy to get smooth. And at the end, I think I changed over to the round one, yeah, to try to smooth it out as much as possible. Now, an interesting deal here you'll see when I start sanding. I didn't catch this at all, but I started sanding it out about 220, but you can see the lines in there. And for some reason, I just didn't catch those lines, but you can see that I'm going with the grain to smooth it out, to try to get the lines out. And I used, I think this was 320, and sanding it down more. And then again, I go with the grain to get the lines out. And most of them are getting out. Now I take denatured alcohol to kind of get the grain up and let it sit up a little bit. I'll start with 400 grit here and sand it down with 400. Then I'll finish it off with 600 grit. But you can see that you can kind of still see the lines there. And for some reason, I didn't pick it up. But what's interesting is, yeah, see, I didn't pick up that those lines were like that. But I'll put sanding sealer on it right here, and the lines kind of go away, which was interesting. So I guess the sanding sealer kind of seals it. And then I think I put like 3 coats of sanding sealer on it, and then started using polish, friction polish on it to bring it out. But you can see there's no lines. It's interesting how those kind of went away. I need to pay more attention to that when I'm doing the sanding. But the polishing also helped it. Brought out the really shine in the wood. The blank really turned out well. It was very easy to work with, very easy to turn, and the two-tone of it really came out nice. Put it together is, again, very easy. There's only 2 things you have to press, and you can have the clip and the end cap right there, put it together. And I think I've spent more time trying to figure out where I want the clip than actually pressing it together. But I finally decided to kind of put it right there on the edge of the two-tone. And so I, of course, didn't have the handle all the way back, so I positioned it, and then I have to redo it. There goes the handle. So I have to kind of redo it. And it gets pressed in very easy. And then the sleeve for where the transmission screws in will go on the other end. There's a little detent ring to where it's a little smaller than the regular. You can see it there. Push that in on that side, and it goes in very easily. Press it all the way square. Then the transmission, everything's together. Pencil's already in there, or the lead on the pencil's already in there. Just screw it in, and there it is. Had the camera a little off, but you can see the two-tone came out really nice on it. Very pleased with it. Very pleased with the wood in the pencil itself. It's very handy in the shop. So appreciate y'all watching. I'll have an acrylic version out here in the next couple. If you haven't, please subscribe, hit that bell, and we'll have more videos to come. So please keep in touch.